So we have here a blank checkerboard space, and this checkerboard space allows us to create photo imaging and drawings and all kinds of different things. And this space is adjustable. Down here in this bottom right corner, we have a little tab that allows us to click and drag and change the size and shape of our drawing space. Another way to do that is to go to File, Page Setup, and then we can actually customize what size we want that to be. So we can either do a standard size, which it would have started as a standard 4:3, but I can go custom and I can actually select from inches, centimeters, points, or pixels. So if you need something a certain pixel size to fit on a web page header or something like that, you have that option. Okay, so we'll just go with the size that I have here. And the next thing I want to do is bring in a picture, so an image. So I can go up here, or I can go to the Insert and grab an image. But since I have it right here on the toolbar, I'll just click on that. Now, this will bring up several options. This allows me to select an image from my computer and upload it, or I can take a snapshot if I have a webcam. I can enter a URL for an image where I already know where it exists, or I can search my own albums, my own drive, or I can do a Google search. So for today, we'll do a Google search. And we'll just pick a topic of interest, and I am going to use the Arizona Cardinals because I love the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. Now, you're going to notice this search, these are labeled for reuse. So you're not going to see official logos except for those that have been approved by the team to be used on people's websites. And even that, you have to be careful about how you use them because there are branding rules that allow you to change those or not, and how big they have to be and what kind of background they have to be on. So even if it's listed there, if it's a logo of some sort, you have to be careful. You don't want to make the mistake of abusing. But most of these are images of action from games that people have kind of changed and then reposted as something usable. So for instance, I might choose, is that David Johnson? Nope, that's Andre Ellington. That's an old picture. Okay, so let's choose this one here of Fitz. And once I click on that, I can select it, or I can just double click on it. Either way, it will show up here in my space. And this space is going to make it as big as it can be within the space that I've allotted based on the pixel size of the image. So this looks like it's maybe a water painting or something like that somebody did, even just a graphic design over the top of a picture that somebody did. And the author's name is here. So I wouldn't want to cover that up because I'm reusing something that someone else has posted and said it's okay for me to use. All right, so let's look at how we can move this around, center it, that kind of thing. So first I'll move it into the center. Notice I get these little crosshairs, and I want to move it until the crosshairs go both directions. So, oh, there it is. Okay, so now I have the crosshairs in both directions, and if I drop in that space, now I am centered within my space. I personally like to, because this background is transparent, I like to move things up into the corner and then move my space to fit. But for today, we're going to just leave this centered in the middle. If I were to download this as an image the way it is right now, this entire background would come with it. It would be transparent, but it would still be part of the image size. So that's not ideal. But we're going to look at a couple of editing options here, so let's get on to that. Okay, so for the line weight, you can choose how thick you want that line to be. So you can try one and kind of click away and see if that's a good size border that you want to use. And then if you click on the image again, you'll get those toolbars back up there so you can change it. So if I want to change this to, say more of a cardinal red color, I can do that, and I can click away to kind of look at it. To do any more editing, I'll just click on that image again, and then I can do other things. For instance, you can actually crop images into specific shapes. So I might decide to go with a beveled edge, and then I can take the depth of that edge. See this tiny, I need to turn my spotlight back on here. See this tiny little yellow dot? That allows me to change the depth of my bevel. So I can, nope, I grabbed the whole thing. Let me undo that. All right, back over here. So I need to make sure I'm right on that little dot. And I'm going to change my bevel. And notice my lines are moving in so that the bevel is not so severe. Okay. Now that I have a beveled edge on this, I don't like the red. I think it would look better in black. So I'm going to click on it and change my line color back to black. Okay, and see how that gives it a little bit of a depth edge? I like that. So we'll stick with that one for now. Another thing you can do is add a shape in order to highlight part of an image. So for instance, if I go into shapes here, I can select a circular shape and I can highlight a part of the image just by clicking and dragging. Now notice I'm highlighting the football because that is important, but it put that shape right over the top of the football. I want to be able to see it. So what I can do is go up here and change my fill color to transparent. And then obviously this circle is not very noticeable on my image, so I would want to increase the line pixels. And then I want to change the color of that to something that's going to stand out off of this page. So there's a lot of red and white and black, but let's try yellow and see how that stands out. There's a little bit of yellow in the kind of skin color parts. All right, that looks okay, but maybe something completely different. So I'll click on it again and let's try, there's not a lot of green in there. Maybe I'll try green and see how that stands out. All right, and then clicking away allows me to just kind of preview it, and I can say, okay, this is what I'm trying to point out. And then I could even do an arrow, and notice it gives me highlight points here. So I could do an arrow from one of these points over to the side, and I'll make that the same color and line weight as my circle. And then I can add a text box over here. So I go, oops, I just added an extra. Let me delete that. You can also do a undo button if you want to. So for my text box, I'll just select that. I'll place it over here. And we'll give this a black line. We'll make it a little smaller. We'll do like a 3-point. Okay, so over here in my text box, I can specify, why I'm highlighting this football. Protect the ball. Okay, and then maybe if I want to center that, I can go up here, I can center it. I can decide if I want it to be spaced or if I want it to be centered, both horizontally and vertically, so I have control over my text as well. Now, I'm noticing, and I'm going to click away here, noticing that my arrow is coming kind of over the top of my my text box. So there are a couple things I can do here. I can click on this arrow and right click, and I can change the order to the front so that it overlaps over the top of the box, and that looks kind of cool. So I might want to do it that way. Or I can click on it, and if I grab the little dot on the end, I can move it back until it aligns with one of those little purple dots that lets me know that's a space where the line would be nice and straight. Okay, so I'll click away, just take a look at that. I'm liking the way this looks. Let me get rid of my pointer here. All right, so now I have kind of it looks like a framed image. I've got a shape. I'm making a point. If I want to, I can change my text color. So up here, I can go in, maybe make that blue, make it stand out a little bit. And then with this image, I can do a lot of things with it. I can download it. Everything saves automatically in Drive, just like with most Google documents, but I can take that file and I can download it as different image types, even as a PDF. I can publish it to the web. I can copy it to the web clipboard. So I can copy the entire drawing onto a web clipboard, and then I can paste that into another document. So just a few ways that you can use Google Draw. That is barely scratching the surface, but I just wanted to give you a little preview and an opportunity to play with that.